All right, I'm looking everywhere. Where does it say the video's recording? It's somewhere here. There we go, recording. We've been recording for 7 seconds, so it is working. It is working. Let's adjust that camera down a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do today is just read through my notes from Sunday before last, because this coming Sunday, what would that be? The Sunday coming up, last Sunday in March, I believe. The last Sunday in March of 2021, we're going to continue in the book of First Samuel. First Samuel. So, but I want to just kind of give you a recap of what we talked about this past Sunday. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I hope others did. But what? Well, I say this past Sunday, but it was actually 2 weeks ago. But just kind of want to recap, get you ready for the next second conversation in the book of First Samuel. Anyway, so what we have in the first chapter of First Samuel is we've got this guy, Elkanah, has two wives, two. Now, it doesn't say anything about him having two wives. It doesn't say if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I know that one wife is all that I can handle, but it just kind of blows right by that. And so we talked a little bit about, whether a person having two wives is weird or odd. But what came up in the story is Hannah was barren, or the story kind of gives you the indication that Hannah couldn't have children. We know she's not barren because eventually she has Samuel, so she has a child. But she's considered barren for a little while, and her husband doesn't really understand, and his other wife kind of provokes her, kind of irritates her, kind of gives her a hard time about it. And so there's this idea that she's barren, and she prays, and she's bitter, and she has a bitter prayer, and she's weeping, and she negotiates with God to such a point that Eli thinks she's drunk. Um, what Eli thought, what Hannah thought was different. They had different attitudes. And that caused me to spend a lot of time thinking about how our attitude impacts our thinking, and how our thinking impacts our actions, and how our actions that are impacted by our thinking income they impact our outcome in life. Um, and so it caused me to think of three stories, and I want to really quickly give you an idea of these three stories. One story is about how longevity is increased. In other words, people's lives were lengthened. People's lives were lengthened because they had a good attitude about aging. They had positive ideas about what it would be like when they got older, as they got older, and it actually impacted their life expectancy by more than diet and exercise. So I really like that. I'm real positive about my future. I'm fat and don't exercise, but I'm real positive about my future, and that's going to impact my longevity. And I thought, man, the way we think really matters. Now I do exercise. I am overweight, but I exercise and I try to eat a little better than well, some days I try to eat a little better than others. But anyway, this idea that we think positively about aging has a positive impact on our life expectancy. That's pretty cool research. Another research article was about how it's another article was about the all these women that worked cleaning hotel rooms, and they asked if they got enough exercise, and they all responded no. And out of these 80 some women, they took a portion of them and told them that cleaning 18 hotel rooms a day was what the Surgeon General recommended for the right amount of exercise. And so what they were doing really was exercise. And they discovered that just knowing they didn't change their actions, they didn't change their diet, but just knowing that their work was exercise had a positive impact on their health. And the third story was a story about hiring these people out near a college campus for $7 an hour to dig a ditch, and then they filled the ditch back in at the end of the day, and they told everybody that would come back the next day and dig a ditch. They would get paid $14 an hour. And then at the end of and only half the people came back. And then at the end of the next day, they were going to pay them $21 an hour instead of 14. And this was at a time when $21 an hour was really, really good money. But again, there was rescission. I mean, less people came back because they were digging a ditch and then filling it up, and their work had no meaning. It had no purpose. So when we think about prayer, I think it really, really matters what we think and what we believe about prayer. And so I would just encourage you to let your prayer be, I don't know, have more faith in your prayer. Maybe there is something about faith. Maybe there is something about faith the size of a mustard seed that can move a mountain. Maybe that wasn't just God giving us a spiritual piece of information, but maybe God was revealing something to us about how his creation works, how science works. Maybe faith really is more powerful than just spiritual. Maybe there's actually some science that we haven't discovered yet that causes faith and belief to work together. And maybe that's what Jesus was hinting at when he told us about faith. All right, so Hannah prays. Hannah is blessed with a child, and we'll continue from there next Sunday, this coming Sunday, which would be, geez, I wish I could tell you what Sunday it is. I can't even figure out what today is. But this coming Sunday, March the 28th, at A Place to Talk at 10:30, we'll continue in the book of 1 Samuel.